Hey guys, Sam from Manfa's Makes. How are you all? Welcome back to all my returners and hi to any newbies. It is so great to have you here. Please do stick around a while. And if you like what you see, give me a thumbie. They are free. So we are back for another Spinny Selection. But we cannot get to that part of the video without recapping on Spinny Selection number 1. Now, if you remember, I will put the playlist down in the description box, but some of you will remember that my mum actually got one of these spinning wheels around Christmas time, and I was like, yes, I can use it on my channel. If you remember, we did pick the first project. It has disappeared from the wheel because it is done. And the first selection, the wheel didn't actually decide for me. I had to get you guys to vote. It was stuck between the project that I actually made, which was a crochet monster, and the bod dragonfly shawl. Now, I did tally up your votes, and the winning selection was the crochet monster. And it came out of this book here. This is Crochet Monsters by Megan Lapp, who is also known as Crafty Intentions. Now, I had received this book last year. I was super excited to get it, and it had been playing on my mind that I really wanted to make one. Now, this book works very similarly to her Impkins book. Now, you know that myself and Amanda did the Impkin collaboration last year using that book. So some of you will be very familiar, but basically she gives you many different mix and match options so you truly can create the monster of your dreams. Because I don't recommend making a monster of your nightmares. That would not be very friendly. So I was finally able to pick up this gorgeous book and make my very own monster. Now, I had a bit of a tricksy start with this, guys. I'm not even going to lie to you. You may remember that in the yarn advent that I got for Christmas, I received some of this velvety chenille yarn. I had a light purple and called Lilac and a darker purple called Deep Purple, I believe. And I had said to you that I had never used yarns like these, and I really wanted to make a stuffy or plushie with them. And that is exactly what my intention was for this monster. Now, spoiler alert, Manfa doesn't like that yarn. I tried so hard to get it to work, guys, but it was just not happening for me. I was losing track of my stitches. I was trying so hard. This is the first attempt. This is how far I got, and then all the counts went wrong. So I thought, snip it off, start afresh. You've got plenty of this yarn. Let's slow it down. Let's take it step by step, stitch by stitch, counting as we go. This is how far I got with the second attempt before I literally just was like, no, I am not doing this anymore. It is not worth ploughing on and forging on if the yarn is just frustrating you to ridiculous proportions. It is gloriously soft. It is beautiful. It is gorgeous. But for my first attempt at using it, it was a big fat failure. It's okay. I have made peace with it. It also means that it's a type of yarn that I am not gonna be buying heaps of to fill my stash with. I am gonna be one of those podcasters that avoid this type of yarn, I think. I mean, never say never. I will obviously keep these in my scrap bin. I may be brave enough to pull it out and try again another time. But for this first attempt, it was a So Manfa is not going to be using those yarns anytime soon. It was, of course, the Stylecraft Squeeze Me double knit. It is 100% polyester. It was a DK or lightweight 3. Recommends 4mm hooks and needles. 200 meters or 218 yards. It is 100-gram balls. Wash up to 30 degrees. Tumble dry low. Iron low. You can dry clean using P. Made in Turkey. Like I said, I had the colour deep purple and the colour lilac. But yeah, this is not a new style of yarn that Manfa wants any part of right now. Maybe I'll attempt it in the future when I get a little bit more confidence and I want to give it another go. But for right now, I gave it 2 real gusto attempts and it was a no from me. So then I had to go digging for different yarns, right? Because I still had to make my monster. And another tricky thing is being so overwhelmed with all of the fabulous options in that book. How do you possibly decide? It did take me a little minute to figure out what I wanted my monster to look like. So I thought, because I'm struggling to work out what I want him to look like, I am just going to pull my yarn. So I decided to go back to my trusty cottons, because this isn't going to be a stuffy or plushie that is going to be regularly cuddled or played with. This is just for my purposes. In fact, as I made him and as I fell in love with him, he is actually going to have the role of my work desk mascot. So he will be coming to work with me. He will be living on my desk. But before he can go to his new home, I obviously have to share him with you guys. I also have to write him down in my completed projects book. I must do that after this video. So I have been absolutely itching to use this yarn that I was gifted in Happy Mail. Here is a full skein. It is the I Love This Cotton print. This is a Hobby Lobby yarn, and like I said, I was gifted it in Happy Mail. It is made in Turkey. It is the colour Brights. They are 3-ounce or 85-gram skeins. There is 153 yards or 140 meters. They recommend a 5mm needles or a 5.5mm hook. I did not use that, guys. I used my 3.5 hook, I think. If you have the dots hooks, it is the lime green one that I used. I believe it's 3.5. It is a medium 4-weight or an Aran weight. It says to wash up to 30 degrees Celsius. You can tumble, you can low iron, do not bleach, dry clean using A. And it is a very Manfa colourway of these bright rainbow shades. Now, that is a full skein of it. I have 3 full skeins left in my stash. This is what is left. Oh, and I've still got a stitch marker attached. This is what is left from the skein I was using, so I am going to have to wind that up so it's more usable and accessible, and I will put it in my scraps. But yeah, I still have a nice little chunk of scraps there to use. So this is the main colour of my monster. So I Love This Cotton print in Brights. Now, the secondary colour is, of course, pink, because Manfa is all about rainbows and pink. So if it was going to be my work desk mascot, what better way to tell people what I am into colour-wise than using my rainbow and pink? Now, this is Rainbow 88 from Hobie. It is 100% cotton. It is 50 grams or 1.75 ounces, 75 meters or 82 yards. Recommends a 3.5 to a 4mm hooks and needles. It's a lightweight DK. So a number 3. So it either means that this is a thicker DK or this is a really light number 4, because they work up pretty much the same, guys. I had no issues with that. This one you can wash up to 40 degrees Celsius on a colour cycle, wash up to 95 degrees on a white cycle, low iron, do not tumble, do not bleach, made in India. This is colour 45. Now, I'm not going to be washing, I don't wash any of my amigurumis because I am so fearful that I would not be able to dry out the stuffing inside and it would get all mouldy and it would have to be thrown away. And then all of that hard work is gone. So I do not wash my amigurumi. So the washing instructions aren't important for this project, but they are important if you use cotton for anything else. And then same stats, but I did use a little bit of black, and you will see when I show you my monster how I used the black. So all the same stats, except this is colour number 9. So I've picked my yarns. Super happy with my yarns after the disaster of the velvety chenille ones. So I had to go back and make a final decision on what bits and bobbles I am going to be using for my monster. Now, the first thing I needed to decide was what shape body. I did, in fact, decide to make a blob. And I actually made the blob with an open mouth. So that is the body shape that I decided. I then thought, what else can I do with him? So I then picked, well, he's got an open mouth, so I want him to have a tongue. Also, I have an incredibly long tongue myself, so I thought because it's representing me in monster form, this one needed a really long tongue as well. So I gave this one a really long tongue. There it is there. And then finally, I decided he needs something on the top of his head. So I thought, oh, maybe we'll go for some horns. And I went for the tiny curved horns there. They look like that. Then I also wanted to use the biggest size safety eyes that you can put the glittery backs in. And I was like, do I want 1 eye, 2 eyes, 3 eyes? How am I going to play this? In the end, I decided on 2. And of course, again, because it's a monster representing me who's going to live on my work desk, they, of course, were the pink glitter background eyes as well. So there's nothing else for it but to actually show you my little monster creation. Now, this is one of my top 5 ever made amigurumis in the whole of my crocheting career. I have been crocheting now, I believe, for coming up to 10 years. So for it to get in the top 5 of all the amigurumis I've ever made shows you how much I really do love this little creature. Are you ready to see him? Because I am just so in love with him. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Look at him! Isn't he just so cute? Now, there are a couple of things that I'm not 100% happy with. There are a couple of stitches at the sides of the mouth which really bug me because, excuse me, I am suffering with a cold and in the excitement. There we go. Apologies. Okay, so it really is bugging me. But there is nothing I can do about it. I didn't want to rip it out and start again. So we are just going to pretend that maybe they are little teethers. I don't know. But yes, apart from that, I love how he turned out, like 100%. There are his big old glittery eyes. Look at those. And this yarn, I did not colour control at all. This is a very variegated cotton. I do not have the time or the patience or the wanting to even begin to colour control a yarn like this. I just let the yarn flow, and it couldn't have worked out any more perfectly with the striping. Can you see how absolutely amazing the colour turned out? Now, I am a little disappointed that all of the purple stripes seem to appear on the back, because on his little belly there isn't very much purple, but that's just the way it happened. And to be honest, his big long tongue covers most of his belly anyway. But honestly, guys, look, there's the bottom. Now, of course, the blobs, the colours aren't uniform, but even the centre of how the colours played out is amazing. The top of his head, and you actually make the mouth part before you do anything else. So the fact that the top of the body, when I joined onto the mouth, even matched in the same colour stripe, it was like this yarn was meant to be this monster. It couldn't have gone any more perfectly if I had tried. And I didn't even try that hard. I just went with it. But just, doesn't that just make you so like, wow. My little non-diagnosed OCD self is just so in love and enamored. Now, the pink obviously was the tongue and the tiny little horns as the little accent colours, and the black is, of course, the inside of his mouth. But I honestly, guys, this is one of the most favourite amigurumis I have ever made. And I have already taken him into work, because on a Friday for an hour in the afternoon, we are trying to encourage the children at school to do a bit more free flow activities to encourage socialization between the base rooms, the classrooms, because for their learning they stick to their own base, but we are encouraging socialization amongst them all in the afternoons on a Friday just for an hour. And I was asked to sit with one of my teacher colleagues who also crochets, and I decided to take in a few examples of what you can make in crochet, and I had managed to get him done in time, so he has already been to work, but I had to bring him home to film this video for you guys. But when I go in tomorrow on Monday, then he will be living on my desk as my mascot. So yes, there is Manfa's mascot for work. I just adore him, and I am so happy. Now, I did toy with the idea of putting a little stitch on the end of the tongue to make it permanently sit on his tummy, but I decided against it because it's not going to get in the way. He's just going to be sat on my desk being cheeky and sticking his tongue out at me all day, but he will give me a smile every time that I look at him. These are the biggest eyes that I've got currently in my stash, and I did decide to go with two. Now, to me, he looks almost like a puppy monster or a cat monster, but he is a monster, and I just love him. So thank you so much to each and every one of you who voted for the monster to be made, because I am over the moon and it has given me an FO. Now, in order to be completely transparent and clear on my channel, which I try and be, I am actually filming this on Sunday the 19th of January, but you are not actually seeing this video until the 3rd of February, because I have got content scheduled leading up to that date. It was the earliest I could squeeze this video into my schedule, and because I'm keen to get him on my desk at work, I needed to film sooner rather than later. So we are going to pick the next Spinny selection, but it will mean that I may have already started on that project by the time you see this video. But that is the beauty of YouTube. You can film and schedule and pop it on whenever you want. It means that it gives me a little bit of a head start as well, which hopefully will mean that these Spinny selections will get done this year. That's the plan. That's the hope. I absolutely love him, and I could stare at him all day, but I appreciate that you guys have got other things that you need to be doing. So now is the next exciting part, and that is to do the second Spinny selection. So I wonder what I will be getting on my hooks next for this segment. Okay, now I am just going to leave these segments blank. I loved one of your selections or suggestions of maybe put in the blank ones as they appear, go forward 2, go back 3, like a game. And I loved that. But then I thought, no, I want to represent how much work I have done as time goes by. I'm also not going to fill in a new project because I would worry that the new ones get added and will be done before the original 10. So they are just going to be blank spaces. So of course, if a blank space does get selected, we will just spin again. And I hope the wheel actually behaves itself today and does actually give me something to make clearly this time. Now, I am going to go by what the pointer decides, not what this flingy bit decides. So it's wherever this pointer is pointing, okay? That is what I have deduced from last time. So, are we ready? I need to hold on to this side. Let's put it back to the blank space. And then we can spin from where we left off. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Oh, it picked the blank space. Let's try again. And go. Oh, yay! It's the Yuletide blanket. That is a big project, guys. I don't think I'm going to be so quick to complete this one. This is a pattern from the wonderful Tina Thorodotta Thorfaldor, and I've totally butchered her name and I do apologise, but it is one of her mosaic crochet patterns. It will mean that it will be another Christmas themed make for Christmas 2025. I have not even thought about colours that I want to use. I haven't really looked at the pattern in detail. So I have got a lot of researching to do. I've got to go digging in my yarn. I've got to pull that pattern from, or in fact, print that pattern. But yeah, let me just see. Do I have it stashed in my files? Let me just see if I can find it for you, just to give you a point of reference. This may take a moment, so I do apologise. I don't know if I have managed to download it yet. But I would like to show you. So you know what? I'm going to Google and go onto my Ravelry account because I've got my phone right here. And let me see if I can pull it from my library for you so I can at least show you a picture. Let's have a look. Let's go there. Let's see. I'm pretty sure I've already bought it. Surely it's got to be here somewhere. Bear with me, guys. And yes, you are probably like, you bought that many, you need to scroll that much. Yes, yes, I do. Here we go. Here we go. Right. Right, let me see if I can get a really nice picture of it up. Not the best, but I will try and show you here. So as you can see, there are Christmas trees, there are hearts, there are sparkles. That is a very colourful version. I'm not sure if I'm going to do mine in that many colours. We will see. I might just pick 2. Who knows? Who knows? But that just gives you a little snapshot of the Yuletide. So I had better get on and print that off and get it on the hooks, because that is a huge, huge project. Right, so I have the pleasure of wiping that one off. So we've gone from small project to massive project in just 2 spins. But it now means that there are 2 blank spaces. Now, I don't know if this blanket is going to take me a month, 6 months, who knows? But if I'm wanting to get as many of these done as possible, I need to be working on it regularly. Otherwise, I will only get these 2 selections done for the year. So maybe a smidgy bit of pressure, but that's okay. I will see what I can do. And like I said, it will be a lovely festive make for the festive season of 2025. So there we go. You now know what I'm getting on my hooks. Might be a while until the next episode of this. I might actually just do a progress video after a little while, just to kind of keep checking in with you. Or if I don't do a progress video, when I start doing my regular crochet catch-ups, maybe I can feature it on that one, just so that you're being kept, you know, abreast of the progress that I am making. But myself and my little monster mascot have got to go. I have more videos to film for you. Like I said, this was filmed a good couple of weeks ago, so I would have had, hopefully, a couple of weeks in on that Yuletide blanket by now. But you never know what life's going to throw at you, and you never know what is around the corner. So who knows? I can't even tell you what to come back for tomorrow, because I haven't planned that far in advance. So it's a mystery, guys. It's a mystery. But thank you so much for coming by and watching today. I really do appreciate your time. Come back for whatever's on tomorrow, because hopefully I have planned something exciting and interesting for you. But until then, stay safe, be kind, look after one another, get some good quality time in with your loved ones, and get some good quality crafting time in. I will see you in the next one, or around the YouTube streets. Bye, guys. Love you loads.